I'm Stephanie Filardi. Welcome to Mind the Gap, the podcast. I believe many people fall short of living the life of their dreams simply because they get stuck in what I call the gap. The vision behind this podcast is to help you understand how to navigate the gap and in the process, awaken to the life that is waiting for you. It starts now. Let's go. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining. Let's begin by taking 3 conscious breaths wherever you are. Feel your body. Inhale through the nose, filling up. Exhale out of your mouth, let it go. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, release, let it go. One more time. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, let it go. So part of this conscious breathing that I offer you helps you to create space. I'd like to think when I exhale, I'm releasing what no longer serves. When I exhale, I'm making space for what matters. So today's topic is about what matters. It's on values. Quite a juicy topic, which I tend to love. I love diving deep with you. So the opportunity today is to paint a picture of your life. Paint a picture of your life. As the summer's winding down, maybe some of you have had the opportunity to reflect. I've encouraged you to take the time to reflect on what's working and what's not working. So whether or not you have done that, it's all good, and you still have time. So here's the invitation. Do you know what your top 5 values are in life? Do you know what your top 5 values are in life? Let me clarify the definition of values that I'm referring to. For example, health, which I've been talking about for a few weeks now, is a value. The desire to be healthy. For me, it's in my top 5, which is why I talk about it and share it with you. Sometimes family is a top 5 value, or security, spirituality, adventure. Those are values. They're the things in life that get us excited and inspired to act. They're the things that motivate us to do the work, the growth, whatever that looks like for you. So the question is, what are your top 5 values? I have found that many of us don't know. And when we don't know, what do you think happens? We get caught in the flow of life. We kind of live a life maybe based on what we see others doing, comparing ourselves to others. I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt who said, comparison is the thief of joy. So what is it that gets you excited? What is it that gets you motivated to take action? So the importance of having values, right, is not only because it helps us live the life of our dreams, it also helps us focus our energy and our efforts. So instead of just kind of going with the flow of life, which I think sometimes seems like an appealing way to live, right? Especially as a yogi myself, I've said it, just go with the flow. But going with the flow does not mean not addressing your values and taking action. Going with the flow means when you have clarity on your values and you have set your goals and you have taken action, that if something doesn't turn out the way you thought, expected, or hope, that you don't fall apart, right? It's going with the flow. It's trusting that if I decide that I want to change my career, let's say, and I embark on a new career and I don't like it, it doesn't mean that I did something wrong. Maybe it just means that it's not what I thought it was going to be. So going with the flow means that we're able to navigate the transitions in life, those things that are unexpected, those things that are out of our control. So getting clear on our values is an important part of living well. It's an important part of being joyful. And it's an important part of really using the time that we have here in this life on earth to do what we're here to do. So we don't know our values often because they're also not talked about, right? We're not necessarily taught this in school. What are your values? And over time, maybe at one point in time, we did have values. We started out, we said, okay, I want to be married. I want to have a career. I want to have a family. I want to have a nice home. I want to have a stable job. And then perhaps that changed. Maybe we got divorced, or maybe there was a death of some kind. Maybe our children grew up, or maybe we decided don't want to have children. Whatever happened, these points of transition maybe caused us to lose our way. That place that I call the gap, the place that is the vast unknown. But it's also the place of vast opportunity. So with the summer winding down, the invitation is for you to consider what really matters to you. And if you do this exercise, if you give yourself 30 minutes, you probably won't need 30 minutes, but give yourself 30 minutes. Maybe start with taking some conscious breaths, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper. If you have to use your device, fine. I tend to like to use a pen and paper when I'm doing this type of creative work. And start to write down some of the values that are important to you. Again, I gave examples of health and family, spirituality, making a difference, freedom, fun. So just jot down whatever comes to mind. And if you have more than 5, awesome. Write as many as you can. And then see if you can narrow it down. See if you can narrow it down to your top 5. And again, these are the things that get you excited, that get you motivated. And I'll give you a little secret here. So in life, if you've ever been in a situation where you've experienced jealousy, oh, I know none of you have, right? Jealousy. The thing with jealousy is that it can teach us, right? I remember when I first started out teaching yoga and leading retreats and doing workshops that I would always have this little kind of feeling of jealousy towards teachers that were already doing it before I was. So I would attend many workshops and retreats, and I would attend as a student, but I had this longing. I wanted to lead. I wanted to teach. I wanted to bring people somewhere. So there was a part of me that was a little jealous. It wasn't a malicious jealousy. It was more of a jealousy of, I want that. So I encourage you to kind of look at the people in your life, or maybe the situations, experiences where you feel that, where you're like, I would like that. Because usually those are telling, right? Usually those are telling. And the important part, if you do that exercise, is to remember that there's enough to go around, right? So coming from that place of a mindset of prosperity, because someone else has something does not mean that you cannot. It actually is a reminder that you can. So, right? So part of these podcasts are to inspire you to look at things as opportunity instead of obstacle, right? So notice the areas of your life that bring you joy. And also notice the areas of your life where maybe you aren't feeling joy. Those are also pointers, right? So they can point to what's missing, what you want less of. When you start to let that go, you make room for what you want more of. So your homework assignment, if you choose to accept it, is to take the time, take the 30 minutes, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, go somewhere where you can be in private, and start to list what you think your values are. Come up with at least 5. And then take a moment after you've listed those values to reflect on if you have goals in your life already set that are related to those values, and if you're actually taking action. So listing the values, reflecting on if you have goals already set or action steps in place. And if you don't, that's okay. This exercise is simply one of raising your awareness. Because what you'll start to notice, perhaps as you go through this exercise, is that you're out of alignment. And when we're out of alignment, that's a source of energy leaking. That's the place where we get stuck, where we're not excited, where everything feels like work, it feels like a burden. What's the point? So the intention is for you to be honest with yourself, to be compassionate with yourself, and to write out what is important to you. So I'm going to give you an example of a place where we can perhaps not be aligned. So let's say one of my values, as I've shared with you, is health, right? It's the top 5 value, health. And when I say health and being healthy, I mean physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and psychologically. It is all connected. So that's an episode on each one of those. But in the meantime, health is an overall value for me. So if I tell you that my value is health, but I don't have energy and I'm overweight and I make poor food choices and I'm constantly stressed and I'm in relationships that don't work for me and I don't take the time to connect to a spiritual practice, then I'm out of alignment. And over time, what ends up happening is the energy starts to leak. Some of us might get depressed. Some of us might get angry. So this happens a lot. Another example is those of us who say that our family is a value. Yeah, we're always working, or we're too tired, or we're too busy, right? So when you start to really look at your values, it's a starting point to see if you have goals aligned with them and what action steps you need to take. And if not, you have the opportunity to choose a different path. So as you do this exercise, remember, be compassionate with yourself, be honest with yourself, and see if you can connect into the adventure of it, the fun of really discovering at this stage in your life what matters. Because I will tell you, quote from PJ Meyer, what you vividly imagine, ardently desire, sincerely believe, and enthusiastically act upon must inevitably come to pass. Let's go. Okay. Okay. Values. I'm going to try to lighten it a little. Okay. Okay.